James Fox releases a statement on Jayson Sands. We've got that and a lot more to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, here's what James Fox had to say. James Fox here. Those who know me or are familiar with my work know I fiercely go the extra mile to weed out unsupported claims. I have spent the last year conducting numerous interviews, researching claims, and doing my best to verify within my means people's credentials and the veracity of their statements. As part of this mix, I met with Mr. Jayson Sands a little over a year ago, concerning whom there has arisen fierce debates on social media concerning his claims of official involvement in the U.A.P. area and specific experiences associated with such. As part of my due diligence, I can state that he is who he says he is, has served in the military, and is willing to testify under oath and even take a polygraph test regarding his claims. Nonetheless, as with other whistleblowers who go public, this doesn't mean that what he has stated shouldn't be questioned regarding apparent inconsistencies and difficult to resolve claims. Evaluation of such continues to be a work in progress. So there you go, James Fox standing up for Jayson Sands, saying he is continuing to verify and vet Jayson, but he seems to be sticking up for Jayson Sands and sticking up for his own research on vetting Jayson Sands. So what are we to make of this? Well, I still think we're kind of in the fog of war on all of this. I really think it may take somebody like David Grush or Mike Carrera to, come out batting for Jayson Sands, for enough people to take him seriously. Really helped David Grush, for example, when Lou Elizondo went to bat for David. So somebody needs to go to bat for Jayson Sands that's on the inside. At least that's my take. But I think there's enough from what we've seen of Jayson, and enough people saying that at the very least he is who he says he is, and he has the clearances that he would have needed to have had these experiences and this contact. So yeah, so time will tell, but I think there's enough there to at least take him seriously and try to evaluate what he has to say objectively. Meanwhile, Tim Burchett has said that he worries about going into his skiff. He worries that they could be using skiffs to silence congresspeople.
Again, it's in a secret setting, hence the skiff. And that's part of the problem with the skiff. You weigh that against, should I go to this meeting and not be able to tell what went on in it because that's the rules of the skiff, or do I not go and not get information? And sometimes I think they put us in the skiff to shut us up, to give us information that will shut us up, even if it's information we already knew.
Yeah, that's scary. The idea that they could be revealing information to congresspeople in the skiff expressly so that they wouldn't be able to talk about it, because what you talk about in the skiff stays in the skiff. He also says this about David Grush.
Since day one, I think he kind of came out of the blue. I don't believe the intelligence community was prepared for him to be the powerful witness that he was. And will continue to be stonewalled, but I don't know that it's that important. I think the stonewalling shows the American people, if they don't have anything to hide, they sure are doing a good job of trying to hide it.
I love it, and I love what he had to say about David. I've always thought that if there was some sort of planned UFO disclosure process, and there probably is, probably a few different plans, but I've always thought that they would reveal, the craft and the idea of reverse engineering them, at some point. But yeah, they would start with the hardware and then slowly work up to the biologics. They wouldn't just drop that right on people. They'd give people time to digest the idea of the technology first, and then of the beings that might be using that technology, because that's where the big ontological shock is, right? It's not so much the hardware It's the beings. So, yeah, so when David came out talking about biologics, I knew that he was legit and that he was off script. If there was a script, he was off of it. And I love it. So Godspeed, David. And then he went further, even above and beyond that, talking about the other dimensional aspect of the phenomenon and stuff like that. But let me know what you guys think. Was David Grush off script? And are they using skiffs to potentially silence congresspeople? Meanwhile, researchers have discovered an anomaly on the moon. That's right, buried beneath its South Pole Aitken Basin, one of the largest preserved craters in the solar system, is a structure which weighs at least 2.18 billion kilograms and measures more than 300 kilometers or 186 miles in depth and 2,000 kilometers in length. The researchers who made this discovery, all based in the U.S., posited that the anomaly could be made out of metal from the core of an asteroid or oxides from the crystallization of a magma ocean. So yeah, that's probably what it is. It's probably something totally mundane and prosaic, but with all the other oddities about the moon, you have to wonder. It's something huge and metallic. So, could it be something more anomalous? Let me know what you guys think. Meanwhile, Jimmy Corsetti is giving us examples of ways that ancient cultures around the world seem to have been connected. As in Egypt, you have these same shapes, exact same shape as you do in Japan for these sarcophagi, or whatever they are. I assume that's a sarcophagus. In Japan and Egypt, look at that, exact same thing. No way that's a coincidence, right? Yeah, and just in case we weren't aware, they're far apart. They are far apart. Check that out. Same shapes, though. Same shapes. Good catch by Jimmy Corsetti. Another proof of Atlantis, or at least some way that ancient cultures around the world were connected. Meanwhile, Ryan Bledsoe, son of Chris Bledsoe, just had a skywatch. And
sure, look how rapid.
Yeah, this is the UFO they got on their skywatch. Check it out. Pink and is blipping around all over the place. Is it multiple UFOs? Is it really one UFO that's just kind of, yeah, and was it bilocating there? I saw two flashes at the same time. I can't tell if we're looking at one UFO that's bilocating or whatever, or multiple UFOs, or what is going on in this very interesting encounter. This looks to be the horizon, maybe is at the sea line, and so you have to wonder if it's a ship or something. So, but anyway, a cool sighting. Yeah, let's see if it'll go up into the air at all, because that'll really be the giveaway, right? If it's just on the horizon, could be anything. But if it rises, that would be really incredible. All right, I'm waiting. Nope. Okay, it's going to stay on the horizon. All right, well, let me know what you think that crazy pink blinking object was. Meanwhile, Jon Stewart has what might be another image of a genuine alien for us. Okay, he's talking to his source, or one of his sources, codenamed Falcon. And he says, Falcon, is there any photo of a real alien on the internet? Falcon, after a long pause, says, yes, look for the metal wristband. And John does some research and he finds this image of a being with what looks like a metal wristband. Now, that looks like something out of a science fiction movie or something, but I have to wonder if science fiction movies have been priming us for the truth all along. E.T. looks a lot like a Nazca mummy. So, yeah, very intriguing, guys. Very intriguing. What do you think? Are we looking at an alien here? Are we looking at an alien? Let me know what you think. I think that's a very intriguing photo. Meanwhile, Chris Lato interviews a commercial airline pilot who saw a UFO and shows us pictures.
Yeah, I'm the first to admit it's underwhelming, but at least
I don't think so.
Yeah, this was a very interesting sighting, and this one actually stayed with me for a long time. To give you some background information, this was during a flight from Amsterdam to Malaga in the southern part of Spain. just after sunset. So as you can see, the sun is already below the horizon and the clouds below give a nice contrast. We were flying with a 737 at 41,000 feet, which is relatively high. There's not much other commercial traffic flying at those altitudes or much higher. And the moment we entered Spanish airspace, the air traffic controller gave us direct routing to Malaga, because basically we were the only ones in this airspace. So we don't have to follow those airways. We can just save some time and fuel by flying direct.
Well, I'll let you listen to the full interview on Chris's channel, but there you go, pictures of what seems to be a genuine UFO captured by this pilot. Meanwhile, if this dog doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will, guys. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is the happiest dog. That's awesome. You go, man. You go. Meanwhile, reporting from Chris Sharp at Liberation Times confirms that Kona Blue was the ALSAP program that was trying to get a UFO from Lockheed Martin. It's a juicy story. David Grush has talked about this. This has been out for a little while. The idea that ALSAP was trying to get this UFO from Lockheed Martin. Lockheed was trying to divest itself of a UFO. I guess they had all the UFOs they needed. I don't know. In any case, ALSAP, the precursor program, kind of, sort of, to ATIP, was trying to get their hands on this UFO, and Kona Blue was the program that would have managed that project. Never got off the ground, but it is now confirmed by George Knapp telling this to Chris Sharp that, yeah, that was it. I'll read the quote. When we published Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, and I highly recommend everybody check out that book, great book, a lot of detail about ATIP, ALSAP, and Skinwalker Ranch. When we published Skinwalkers at the Pentagon censors, the Defense Office of Pre-Publication and Security Review, gave the authors permission to describe in considerable detail the proposal for a successor to the DIA's ALSAP effort. The only detail we were prohibited from including was the name, Kona Blue. Why did Kona Blue fail? In Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, the authors elucidated that its failure stemmed from DHS leadership, primarily driven by the reservations of Undersecretary for Intelligence and Analysis Phyllis Green, who was skeptical of the data acquired by Bass. Well, I understand being skeptical of the data acquired by Bass. I mean, we're talking about portals and skinwalkers here, but there's portals and skinwalkers, guys. That is what ALSAP studied, among many other things. It would have been wonderful if they could have gotten their hands on this UFO, but if they had, we probably never would have heard about ALSAP. George Knapp goes on to say, as the new kid on the block, DHS didn't want to rattle too many cages, and some worried that the subject matter was just too weird and might be an embarrassment if word leaked out. And this is probably about getting the UFO, not about the skinwalkers. Kona Blue would have been a gigantic leap forward if it had been allowed to proceed, just as ALSAP would have been had it not been kneecapped by many of the same parties who wanted Kona Blue killed. Oh, but this is interesting. Most of the materials produced by ALSAP, including more than 100 highly technical scientific and engineering reports, have never been made public, other than the broad strokes reported by Lukatsky and Kelleher in our two books. So yeah, there's 100 scientific papers out there. God knows what's in them. I mean, are we describing portals here? I mean, what's in those scientific papers? Hopefully, though, they will see the light of day at some point, and people that know what to do with them will do something. But what about that UFO they were trying to get? Well, this craft had a streamlined configuration suitable for aerodynamic flight, but no intakes, exhaust, wings, or control surfaces. In fact, it appeared not to have an engine, fuel tanks, or fuel. Lukatsky added, what was the purpose of this craft? Was it a life support craft, useful only for atmospheric re-entry, or what? If it was a spacecraft, then how did it operate? Anyway, a great article from Chris Sharp, and I'll link to it in the description. But let me know what you think about that and everything else covered today. I've got to go watch the new episode of Skinwalker Ranch. So let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button. And of course, the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to grab a t-shirt or a coffee mug in the merch store to support the channel, that'd be great. Or you can become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.